Hello from the garden shop, how to garden video. In this video we want to show you how to transplant your lettuce crop. So we have here just 3 lettuce left in our 84 cell seed tray, and we're now going to position them directly into the garden soil. So whenever you're doing any transplanting, there's a few things you should consider first. Firstly, it's important that you harden off your indoor grown crop by leaving it outdoors into its final growing position for a few days. Bring it in each night just to get used to the outdoor climate. The next thing then to consider is that you should always make sure that your crop is well watered before transplanting it. So I've soaked these lettuce prior to sowing. Next thing then we do is prepare our soil. Now this soil was prepared the previous month. Well rotted farmyard manure was added. And now we can begin to sow our lettuce. So I'm going to use the garden trowel here, and I'm just going to dig a small hole. I'm going to position our lettuce roughly 10 to 15 centimeters apart. Now what you should do is prepare the hole before you plant or before you lift your lettuce out of the ground. You just don't want to expose them to too much sunlight. So I'm just pushing my finger here underneath the plug, and that will help me to lift it out. So really I'm not touching the foliage at all, and it's the easiest way then just to hold your crop. So you can see a good amount of roots have formed around this plug. So really it's the time to transplant. And you can see it's developed at least 4 or 5 of its true leaves, and again that's another sign that the lettuce is mature enough and old enough to be planted on. So here we are, we're going to position it here in our row. Again 10 to 15 centimeters from the previous crop, and roughly 20 centimeters between your rows. Keeping it, make sure that you have it level with the soil surface and firmed in well. So we'll continue it now. We'll just get our next one in here again and just continue it on 10 to 15 centimeters. Again, just push your finger underneath the plug to push it, lift it up out of the tray, holding it by the roots. You can just pile the soil in around it like so. Again, lettuce, because they're prone to bolting, it's a good idea to stagger your sowing times, and that way you'll be able to get a continual harvest without half of your crop going to seed early on. So I'm loosening up the soil nicely, as this is going to be where all of our future roots are going to spread into. Again, firming it in nicely. It's around this time too then that you could probably add a feed such as Grow More, and this is just a general multi-purpose plant food. It's got all the nutrients required. So by doing so, just simply place a small scattering around the seedlings, but not too close that it might touch the actual seedlings and burn them. After you've then sown your seedlings, you can just give them a nice soaking in, like so, and they are now transplanted, and in a few weeks time then we can come back and review the crop and see if it's ready for harvesting. But in this video we just want to show you how to transplant your lettuce from thegardenshop.ie.